We got notorious BFG up in here.
How y'all do? I go by Notorious BFG because my first name is Ed, the initials ED, and the guys in here know that ED is now associated with that male disaster known as erectile dysfunction.
Oh,
yeah, like trying to put the marshmallow in that coin slot just doesn't work. Yeah, it's embarrassing to have a first name named after a limp dick and named after a disease. Now I know how my sister chlamydia feels.
oh my God.
Oh. Yeah, I'm single again. Have an interesting marital history. I've been married 3 times, but I've never been divorced. How does that happen? My first wife died from eating poison mushrooms.
Oh, wow.
My second wife died from eating poison mushrooms. My third wife died from a fractured skull. She wouldn't eat the fucking mushrooms. Yeah, but I kid. I don't get laid much. At my age, the most exciting thing about sex is sneaking out without paying for it. But I kid. I have a wonderful wife. I've been married 32 years. She's beautiful. She's athletic. She has a great heart. The only thing wrong with her is her obvious poor taste in men. Oh, she's talking about me. We fight all the time. I don't know why after 32 years we're still fighting all the time. In fact, I went and got a female dentist because at least once in a while I like to have a woman tell me to open my mouth instead of shutting it all the time. But, you know, we fight and I don't make it easy on myself. My wife told me if I wanted to grow as a person that I had to embrace my mistakes. So I gave her a big hug. That got me into trouble. And now she's really furious at me and it's over something really stupid. We were in the Walmart and I ran into my high school girlfriend, Marie. And now my wife won't even talk to me anymore. She's so mad. I don't know what the problem is. Marie graduates in June.
Oh.
So I knew I was in trouble, so I decided I had to do something drastic. So I went and I had "I love you, Julie" tattooed on my dick. Yeah, my wife wasn't impressed. She said I was just trying to put words in her mouth. I don't do this for a living, obviously, but I do have some business ventures. I have a veterinary clinic, and I include in that a taxidermist. My motto is, no matter what happens, you'll get your pet back.
Man.
There's also my new restaurant out on Spring Cypress. You might have seen it. It's called Karma. Anybody seen it? Anybody been there yet? Yeah. There's no menu, right? You only get what you fucking deserve. But I was at the veterinary clinic the other day, and the receptionist goes, "What happened to you?" And I go, "What?" She says, "You look bad." I said, "But I feel good." She says, "Well, you better go to the doctor." And I go to the doctor, and the nurse says, "Boy, what, you come in an ambulance?" And I go, What are you talking about?" She said, "You look bad." I said, "But I feel good." "You can get into the doctor right now." Doctor comes in and says, "Whoa, why didn't you go to the ER?" So why? "Because you look bad, but I feel good." He says, "Oh, I'm getting on the computer for this one. Let's see. Looks good, feel good." "No, that's not it." "Looks bad, feel bad." "No, that's not it." "Feels bad, but looks good." "That's not it either." "Oh, here it is. It feels good, but looks bad. It says here, you're a vagina." There may be something to that after all. You know that old saying, you are what you eat. So I got a kind of a crazy family I'll tell you about. My grandmother was a trip. She said she once gave a hand job to Albert Einstein. Yeah, she said it was a stroke of genius.
Oh my! I'm not old enough yet.
My grandmother was one of 11 children. 11 children, can you believe that? Somebody should have told her that it was a vagina, not a clown car. Okay, nobody's old enough to remember what a clown car is. Yeah, when we had to decide what to do with Grandma, either bury her or cremate her. As a family, we couldn't really decide, so we decided to let her live. My grandfather, when my grandmother eventually passed away, was a little depressed, so my brother and I decided to give him some female company for the evening. So we got a sex worker, went up to the apartment, he said, "Hey, who's your beautiful friend?" And she said, "My name's Angelique, and I'm here to give you super sex." He thought for a second and said, "Okay, I'll take the soup." I have a crazy mom, and she was a devout Catholic, very devout, tried to put the fear of God in all his children when we were teenagers. She said to me when I was about 14, "If you ever think of touching yourself down there, you better remember that God is watching you." Boy, talk about the fear of God. That made me nervous for a long time, until I realized it was only my Uncle Pete. I had a brother who was legendary back in the little town we grew up in, northeastern Pennsylvania. At about 15, he managed to sleep with a teacher. Yeah. Problem was, he was being homeschooled. My sister is a librarian, and what makes her the maddest is that when people take out books on suicide, they never bring them back. I have an idiot cousin. We were walking down the street once, and we see a dog licking his balls, and he goes, "Oh, I wish I could do that." And I said, "Why don't you? It doesn't look like he bites." And my wife's sister's daughter, her niece, was acting real strange in a medieval sort of way. So she hired a priest to do an exorcism. And it helped out. But she didn't pay the priest. So her daughter got repossessed. My father was kind of a philosopher. And he left me with some things to live by. One was never borrow money unless you borrow it from a pessimist, because they never expect to get paid back. He also told me that if you build a man a fire, you keep him warm for a day. But if you set that man on fire, you keep him warm the rest of his life. And finally, the one I like to live by, never drink water because fish fuck in it. Now, I'll end up with, I'm a very generous person. A few years ago, I donated a kidney to a 14-year-old girl. The family was very appreciative, but the hospital was being real weird about it. They kept asking me where I got it. I'm Notorious B.I.G. Thanks, you've been a great audience. Thank you.